Under a blistering hot sun.
Wall Saints football. Ed Daniels here with JT Curtis. Welcome back, my friend.
Good to be here. Something besides a Friday night.
I hear that it is football season already.
It is here, buddy. It is on us. And the Saints are in the middle of their preparation. I know they are going to be excited about the season and their upcoming preseason games.
All right, let's see how they get through that. Now, a lot of questions. The Saints, though, one of the NFL's offseason movers and shakers. They were active in free agency, traded up in the first round, last week traded for Jeremy Shockey. Is this good enough to make a run at a Super Bowl?
Well, it better be, because they've put all their marbles on him. Now, talking to some people around the league, his intensity, his desire to win the football game, his desire to want the ball in pressure situations is really good. But also that can create some animosity on the team, especially if you don't win early. They need to win early with him.
Just throw him the ball, in other words, and lots. The Saints have spent a ton of cash on defense, but it is offense that's expected to carry this club again in 08. How explosive can the Saints offense be? For that, we go to Adam Norris live in Jackson. Adam?
Hi, Ed. Last season, the Saints started 0-4, and they were never able to really dig themselves out of that hole. Of course, they finished the season 7-9. And one of the things a lot of the players are talking about this week is last year they almost run out of gas by the time they finished the preseason and entered the regular season. But this year, they're hoping that a high-powered offense and a retooled defense can get them off to a fast start and a fantastic finish.
The Saints preseason bandwagon picked up steam when the week training camp was to open. The team traded a pair of draft picks to the Giants for exciting and emotional tight end Jeremy Shockey.
I expect, like I said, to start from ground zero. I'm a walk-on here. I'm just trying to make this team and do as best as I can to help everyone around me. Hopefully, I bring everybody else's game up to a level that, you know, Marcus, all these guys, Reggie, Drew, hopefully these guys play at a higher level, and as myself individually, I mean, I'm going to, you know, do as I try to do every year, and that's just to, you know, do the best I can.
Shockey's arrival figures to make one of the top-ranked offenses in the NFL even better. He's a solid blocker in the running game, but the reason he's made the Pro Bowl 4 times is his pass-catching prowess.
You know, I felt like the relationship I had with Antonio Gates there in San Diego was great, and we had a lot of success together, and I foresee the exact same thing happening here with him.
All eyes are on Deuce McAllister's surgically repaired knees. The team's all-time leading rusher is trying to come back from the second torn ACL of his career. If he can remain in the lineup, McAllister gives the power running ability and offensive balance the Saints covet. And it also frees up Reggie Bush to excel in third down and receiving situations. Bush hopes to finally fulfill lofty expectations in his 3rd NFL season.
But I definitely feel like, yeah, I do have something improved this year, more so than maybe the past 2 years, just because, you know, I didn't have a great season last year. First year was okay, and, you know, I'm ready to, you know, to prove that I'm one of those elite running backs, you know, year in, year out.
More good news on offense. There are no lingering contractual issues following the Saints into training camp. On the eve camp was to open, they signed star receiver Marcus Colston to a 3-year extension.
It's something that, you know, very happy to get done, and very appreciative to Mr. Benson and the Saints for, you know, being willing to work with me, you know, this early in my contract, and, you know, just happy to get it, you know, done, and, you know, be able to move on and just focus 100% on football.
And the best news from today, first-round draft pick Cedric Ellis, defensive tackle from USC, is signed, sealed, and delivered. He went through his first practice this afternoon, and he was motivated, let's say, by defensive line coach Ed Ogeron, who's always good for barking at a young player. These two go way back, and Ellis should have no problem getting motivated this season. It was hot. He was last in the gassers that they ran at the end of practice, but that should improve as training camp continues. Guys, back to you.
All right, Adam, we'll hear from Adam just a little bit later. Thanks a lot. Now, great offensively, maybe okay defensively and on special teams. Is offense in the NFL enough to carry a team to a championship?
Rarely it is. In my opinion, what has to happen is, without question, they're going to have to improve in the kicking game. Their special team play last year cost them several big ball games. I think they've made the right decision. I hope they stay with a kicker who will consistently put it through the uprights when it needs to happen. The other thing that I have concern about is the speed at the linebacker. They obviously have helped themselves with that trade that they made to the Vilma kid. He's got the ability to run with tight ends and take the pressure off his safeties to give him some help at the corner where they desperately needed help last year.
All right, we'll see how it all works out. Now, one of the most perplexing stats of the Sean Payton era, the Saints' inability to win at home. In '06, the Saints won their first 3 home games, but since the Saints are 4 wins, 9 losses at the Superdome. We ask, why? In 2007, Saints quarterback Drew Brees had a higher quarterback rating on the road. Brees also threw 17 of his 28 touchdown passes away from the Superdome. The Saints defense allowed 17 of 32 touchdown passes at the Superdome. Saints linebacker Mark Simoneau is as baffled as anyone.
It doesn't make any sense, really. You know, the fans are great. We have great support. It's loud in there. You know, it has all the aspects to have that home field advantage, but for whatever reason, we just haven't put it together at home, and that's something we have to do this year. We have to change that.
The Saints have also run the football better on the road. 9 times the Saints reached 100 yards rushing as a team in '07, 6 times on the road. And here's the most baffling of the home-road numbers. Wide receiver Marcus Colston had 11 touchdown catches last year. 10 were on the road. Last season, 11 of 12 playoff teams had winning records at home. The only team with a losing home mark, the Super Bowl champion New York Giants. The Giants were 3-5 at the Meadowlands, 7-1 on the road. Do the Saints feel more pressure at home?
For us to be selling out the way we have the last couple years, you want to put on a good show for the fans. And, you know, there might be a little bit of added pressure.
Winning at home will continue to be an issue until the Saints start doing it. Another interesting nugget in the Saints' home woes. In 2000, the Saints won the NFC West title. They won only 3 at home, 7 on the road. Time now for our Scooters Chicken Black and Gold preseason poll. How many preseason games will the Saints win? Log on to our website, abc26.com. Take part in the poll, register to win. The grand prize is enough Scooters, to feed 38 people. By the way, you can stop there on the way to or from a Saints game. Stop by Scooters, open in Marrero and Gretna, and coming soon to Harvey, the delicious Scooters Chicken. Is 2008 a bounce-back year for Saints?
Shocky. It's got a good feel, doesn't it?
Jerry Romig takes us on a jog down Fleur de Lis Lane. Next.
You're watching the Dodge Training Camp Kickoff.
Okay, it's like this. We have this wheel. It has pictures of bad guys on it, real dirtbags. We spin the wheel. When it stops on one of these dirtbags, we go after them till we catch them. One more time. You, the wheel, spin, catch the creeps, then it's bye-bye dirtbag goodbye. Got it? It's about you, and it's about justice. We spin the wheel, you get the justice. It's time to catch some criminals. Join us on ABC 26 News with our latest Crime Stopper. You, the Wheel of Justice, only on ABC 26 News.
The Chrysler Dodge and Jeep $299 Gas Guarantee Plus ends tomorrow.
We can go anywhere in our Jeep Patriot.
We can take that weekend getaway in our Dodge Journey. We're going on our summer vacation in our Chrysler Town and Country, and we won't pay more than $2.99 a gallon for gas.
Hurry, because now when you buy or lease most Chrysler Dodge or Jeep vehicles, you'll pay just $2.99 a gallon for gas or diesel in each of the next 3 years for up to the first 12,000 miles per year. Or choose 0% financing for 72 months on select models. But you've got to act now, because the $2.99 Gas Guarantee ends tomorrow.
Scooters fries up the best chicken in town. Try our extreme flavor or original flavor. Nobody fries chicken like Scooters. Nobody. Kids go crazy with Scooters chicken strips, original honey butter biscuits, fresh homemade onion rings, double cheesy mac and cheese. Feed the whole family for a great price with our mega meal. Scooters Chicken is the right place. Scooters Chicken is on time.
Scooters Chicken is the best.
Have you been diagnosed with or think that you may have high blood pressure? If so, you may qualify for a research study of investigational medications to treat high blood pressure. Qualified participants must be at least 18 years of age. If you qualify, you'll receive at no cost study-related physical exams, laboratory tests, investigational study medications, and compensation for time and travel. For more information, please contact New Orleans Center for Clinical Research at 504-821-CARE.
But there was no discernible change in the demeanor of head coach Sean Payton. Payton is consistent. He will answer any question, but not give out much information. He's like most NFL coaches, paranoid about injury information. He's willing to take risk to get ahead, and if need be, he is willing to toss out a curveball to the media, hoping to send a message to the opposing team. Sean Payton is a risk taker. It backfired last year against Tampa. A botched reverse cost the Saints dearly in a December loss to the Bucs. Payton took the hit.
A disappointing loss, and probably the worst job I've done as a head coach since I've been here.
In 07, the Saints went for it on 4th down 25 times, second highest total in the league. Sean Payton will also gamble with personnel. In 06, the Saints drafted 2 outstanding players from small schools, guard Jari Evans, wide receiver Marcus Colston. But in 07, most of Payton's personnel moves came up snake eyes. Wanting longer kickoffs, Payton dismissed John Carney, who made 23 of 25 field goal attempts. Olindo Mare lasted less than a year. The Saints also signed cornerback Jason David, a restricted free agent. David struggled mightily. 2 days before the start of camp, Payton rolled the dice again, trading 2nd and 5th round picks to the Giants for 4-time Pro Bowl tight end Jeremy Shockey. Sean Payton will also use the media to play games with opposing coaches. Late in the season, he announced that Reggie Bush's ailing knee was progressing enough for him to possibly play. He said reports that Bush was headed to injured reserve were erroneous.
I was encouraged last week just based on watching him move around. We'll see what he does Wednesday. I guess I'm not as surprised because in the very beginning there was a handful of reports that I just thought were just out there, you know, guys winging it and making claims about injured reserve.
Bush did not play another down the rest of the season. Payton is also paranoid about information regarding injuries to his own players. 2 years ago, it was clear safety Roman Harper had suffered a serious knee injury. The day after, a local radio reporter said Harper was out for the season. Payton seethed. After last year's 7-9 season, Sean Payton said he understood the media's desire to place blame. Yet he quietly shook up his staff. The defensive line, secondary, and special teams, all deficient last season, have new coaches. If Sean Payton wins this year, he could set himself up for a big contract extension. If not, the clock will suddenly be ticking on the 2006 NFL Coach of the Year. Since the Saints' 5-0 start in 2006, they are 12 wins, 14 losses in regular season games. So you coach this game, have for a long time. He goes for it a lot on fourth down. What do you say about that?
Well, I think last year was a learning process. Obviously, what a Cinderella year he had that first year. But as you continue in the process, people get to know you better, and you need to learn yourself better. You need to learn your team better. I think without question, he'll make some better decisions on those reverses when you need to run the ball to pick up the first down. I think he'll do a much, much better job of managing his team this year. He's over that sophomore jinx, as we hope Reggie Bush is. I think we're going to see Sean Payton be one of the best football coaches in the National Football League.
All right, let's hope it happens. But in the meantime, it's time for our panel to weigh in. Who is the best coach in the NFC South? Joining us live again from Jackson, Adam Norris with the first vote. Mr. Norris, what say ye?
Ed, I say the Tampa Bay Bucks' John Gruden. His time in Tampa has been a little bit tumultuous, and were it not for a playoff season last year, his job may have been in jeopardy. But the only currency in professional football that matters is winning. And right now, John Gruden is the only head coach in this division who has won a Super Bowl. He led the Bucks to a championship in the 2002 season. He's fiery, he's got a creative offensive mind, and he gets his players to play for him. Rarely do you see the players turn against John Gruden, and he is the only one in this division with a Super Bowl ring. JT, who do you like?
Well, I'm Sean Payton. I said that last segment. I really think Sean Payton is going to have a breakout year this year. I think the guy is well in control. He has great organizational skills, and I think he learned from last year. Made some changes in his staff. I think he's improved his staff. I think Sean Payton is going to be the best coach in the South, NFC South.
Well, for best coach in the NFC South, I'm going to go with John Gruden. He's the only one of the group who has won the Super Bowl. John Fox coached his team to a Super Bowl, but since then, he has struggled. Sean Payton, I think it's too early to tell. I think he certainly has the ability to be an elite coach, but like all good coaches, it's all about getting the right personnel, and that will be, to me, the challenge for Sean Payton. Right now, I say Gruden. Well, Saints fans are a devoted lot, and few have given more than public address announcer Jerry Romig. Before Katrina, Romig was a resident of Lakeview. After Katrina, with his home in ruins, he drove to San Antonio to be with his football family. As Romig kicks off his 40th season, he visited with ABC 26 Sports' Robert O'Shields. Robert?
Well, Ed, if you've ever been to a Saints game, you can't help but to copy those famous words like first down, Saints, or touchdown, Saints. Well, spend 1 minute with Jerry Romig, and you understand his love for the black and gold.
Touchdown, Shockey. It's got a good feel, doesn't it?
Jerry Romig has been the voice of the Saints for 40 years and remembers the day he got the call.
Vic Schwenk, who was the GM for the Saints at the time, and they had just made a change in their public address staff after the second year, and he asked me if I would be interested in doing the Saints games. And after about 2 seconds, I told him yes.
August 29, 2005, Hurricane Katrina rips the Gulf Coast, and Romig's home in Lakeview, a place he called home for 47 years, was gone. Entering the 05 season, he did what he could for Saints fans who relocated to Texas.
It was an opportunity to focus on something pleasant. My wife and I drove up to San Antonio and to call those games, and then we did the ones in Baton Rouge. So I had never had that absence, so to speak.
When the Saints finally returned to the Dome, Romig was excited to be back in his chair in the press box.
Just incredible moment to beat Atlanta. The blocked punt, the recovery of the blocked punt, winning the game, the excitement of the moment. I mean, there was never a moment in Saints football history than that game and the way they won it. Beating Atlanta anytime is, of course, is a happy moment. We don't care when it happens, as long as we beat Atlanta.
As Romick begins his 40th season with the Saints, he has high expectations for the black and gold.
The new linebacker, he's going to be a terror. He is a terror. You're going to really see his presence quite obvious. I was so delighted when we were able to get Jeremy Shockey. I think he's the perfect yat, so to speak, if that makes sense. But I think Shockey's going to fit so well in this city with our fans. He's the kind of football player that the minute he puts that helmet on, get out of his way. He came to play, and that he's going to make a sizable difference. And of course, we've got our stars back: Drew Brees, Reggie, and it looks like the Deuce McAllister is going to be ready to play himself, and that's perhaps the best news of all.
After listening to Jerry's voice, I got to wondering, how would our own J.T. Curtis and Ed Daniels be announced in the Dome?
J.T. I would emphasize J.T. because I think that's obviously what he likes to be known as. Ed Daniels, now playing.
Now, besides Saints games, Romick has announced national championship games, Super Bowls, and of course Ed's favorite, Endymion, just to name a few. Guys.
All right, Robert, terrific piece. And a terrific gentleman. This is a guy who loves this franchise with all his heart.
Well, if you know Jerry Romick, the mark of a man is his family. And I know his children, I know his daughter, his son. They are excellent, high-quality people, just like their dad. And he has been a Saints fixture and will always make an impression in people's minds as he announces those games. I love hearing him.
No doubt about that. All right, our Dodge training camp kickoff continues on ABC 26.
Up next, a former Super Bowl quarterback has high praise for the Saints' newest acquisition.
I really believe Jeremy Shockey could be to the Saints what
Dodge training camp kickoff.
Now 16 fugitives are off the street, and it's all because of you. The area's most dangerous criminals going down one by one. Crime Tracker and the Wheel of Justice. We spin the wheel, you get the justice. Only on ABC 26 News at 10.
There's a place in Slidell you need to go. It's the Who Dat Shop down on the North Shore. Something for all, big and small, for your sports fans. So come on down to Slidell and visit Who Dat Land.
Universal Furniture's Summer Sizzler sale is smoking hot. With this summer's sizzling hot buys, you get half off MSRP, plus no interest, no payment, and no down payment for 12 months. And with the purchase of $999 or more, you receive a free trip for two, including airfare and hotel to Las Vegas or Orlando. Universal Furniture has locations on the West Bank Expressway at Manhattan and Harvey, on Williams and Kenner, on Southwest Railroad Avenue in Hammond, and the Annex Outlet at South Broad and Earhart. Tax-free holiday this weekend. Don't miss out.
I'm attorney Greg DeLeo. How is an 18-wheeler case different from other collisions? Besides the obvious, an 18-wheeler weighs more than 6 times what a car weighs. There are extensive regulations that apply to trucking companies, and things trucking companies do that other drivers don't have to. A trucking company usually employs people you can get information from, like a safety director. After an accident, there may be drug and alcohol testing of the driver that you can discover. You can get the driver's daily logs, which show the driver's time on and off during the course of a trip. Inspection reports that will show if there was anything wrong with the truck before the collision. And of course, the truck's load information, which will help show how much the truck weighed when it hit your car. A trucking company won't just give you this information. You'll need a competent and aggressive lawyer to win your case. I'm attorney Greg DeLeo, and this has been your Legal Minute. For more information, you can email me, visit my website, gregdeleo.com, or call me at 522-3456.
Toasted to
perfection. Rally's new toasted Frisco Melt, juicy beef, Swiss, and Frisco sauce, and the classic American, melted right. 2 for $4. You gotta eat. Little place, big taste. That's Rally's.
This fall, get a lot more deal in your day.
I'll take case number 14.
Good luck, buddy. What's for dinner? Jimmy, open the case.
Lasagna! Deal or no deal, 5 days a week.
Coming this fall to ABC 26.
In their 5th game of the season, the Saints finally put one in the win column on the road against a formidable Seahawks team. The New Orleans offense finally showed some balance, with Drew Brees throwing for 246 yards and Reggie Bush racking up 97 yards on 19 carries. The Saints won 28-17 and improved to 1-4. The following week, the Saints finally won a home game. Reggie Bush's 4th quarter touchdown lifted New Orleans to a 22-16 victory against the floundering Atlanta Falcons. The Saints won their 3rd straight by hitting the road and smacking the 49ers 31-10. Drew Brees threw for 336 yards, and Marcus Colston had 3 touchdowns against the listless 49ers. The Saints climbed back to 500 by running their winning streak to 4. Brees threw for an eye-popping 445 yards and no interceptions. Mike McKenzie, though, did pick one off and ran it back for a score as the Saints improved to 4-4 with a 41-24 win against the Jaguars.
You're watching the Dodge Training Camp Kickoff.
ESPN analyst Ron Jaworski, a former Philadelphia Eagles quarterback, studies hours of game tapes. He likes what he sees of the 2008 Saints. Last week, the part owner of the Arena Football League champion Philadelphia Soul visited with Adam Norris. And Adam Norris is back with us in Jackson with details of that conversation. Adam?
Hi, Ed. Ron Jaworski is one of the most respected analysts in all the NFL. And when you get him talking about the league, he gets that glimmer in his eye and he starts gushing so much you think he's talking about maybe his favorite sports car or even one of his children. Well, he obviously really likes football, and this season he really likes the Saints offense. Saints fans are salivating at the prospect of Jeremy Shockey catching touchdown passes from Drew Brees this season. Shockey has more ability than any other tight end in team history, and those fans aren't alone. ESPN analyst Ron Jaworski loves the Saints' acquisition of Shockey.
Jeremy Shockey is the type of tight end where he can keep everything inside. That opens up everything on the outside. And when you watch Drew Brees orchestrate an offense, if you can give him those lanes to throw the football in, he has incredible anticipation. I mean, this offense has a chance to be spectacular. I really believe Jeremy Shockey could be to the Saints what Randy Moss was to the Patriots.
That's quite an endorsement. With the exception of current NFL coaches and players, no one watches more game film than Jaworski. He says with Shockey in the fold, the Saints have at least one playmaker at every skill position.
Called balance, and usually when we talk about balance in football, we talk about run-pass ratio. I think when you have balance in every aspect of your game, every dimension, you know, if you got wide receivers that can go deep and stretch the field, if you got a tight end that controls the middle of the field, you have a running back like Reggie Bush who can play in the backfield, you can split him out wide or motion him out wide. You have the power running game of Deuce McAllister. Those are all wonderful dimensions that Drew Brees has at his disposal. And offensively, there are very few teams with many weapons as Drew Brees is going to have with him every Sunday.
Defensively, Jaworski says the Saints should be better with the addition of players like Jonathan Vilma. He says the linebackers and the defensive line will play a vital role in improving the Saints' pass defense.
And I know the Saints secondary has taken some abuse as of late, but pass defense is a combination of coverage and pass rush pressure. The New York Giants won a Super Bowl last year because they pressured the quarterback. They had a mediocre secondary, but the quarterback has 2 seconds to throw the football, can make that secondary look real good.
Not only is Jaworski a master analyst, but he can actually see the future. Last weekend, he was in town for the Arena Bowl. He's the president of the Philadelphia Soul. And before the game, he predicted his Soul would win their first ever championship against the San Jose SaberCats. As it turns out, the Soul won by 3. So there you go, Saints fans. He's predicting spectacular things for this Saints offense. Just maybe Jaws is right. Ed and JT, back to you guys.
All right, Adam, thank you very much. Okay, some interesting comments from Ron Jaworski. The one, of course, that stands out. Jeremy Shockey is the Saints' Randy Moss.
If Jeremy Shockey can control the middle of the football field, just like Ron said, then he will be that effective for the Saints. It's pretty simple. If you can keep the safeties on the hash in 2 deep coverage, that isolates corners and hinders them getting over the top to give them help. And if he can accomplish that, which they all say he can do, then he's right. With Drew Brees' ability to pick apart defenses, he will be a major impact to the New Orleans Saints.
So who's the guy over the top? Is it Henderson? Is it Meacham?
I think Meacham and Henderson are certainly the two guys that they are supposed to do it. But, you know, Colson, you got to get the ball in his hands. That guy makes plays. He is a great player. I just think he's going to have a breakout year. I really do.
All right, we'll see how it all plays out through 16 games. And one in particular figures to be really exciting. One of the most exciting weeks in the 42 years of the New Orleans Saints. The Saints travel to London in late October to play at Wembley Stadium against the San Diego Chargers. Many in the Black and Gold Nation will be along for the ride. With more on that, here's Layla Morcos.
What does it take to be a true Saints fan?
Our fans are the nicest. We go to almost every stadium, and you get beat up sometimes. Yeah, people are really rude to us, but we can handle our own.
Outside of heart, they've got shoes, shirts, cups, jewelry, everything that adorns a true Saints fan.
It'll have this on it, but it'll be in gold.
Their spirit is what makes them some of the most enthusiastic that have ever graced the Superdome.
Very excited.
But these Touchdown Club members are about to embark on a new adventure, one of the longest journeys any Saints fan has ever taken.
San Diego is a very good team, so it's going to be fun having good competition, a home game away.
They try to make at least 2 away games a year.
We had talked about we're going to go to Washington, D.C. for that game, and we also talked about maybe going to Tampa Bay.
But this time, London's calling.
And we have these special shirts made up for London, 08.
They're heading across the pond with Saints fan armor.
Black and gold. Everything we can bring over, we're going to bring with us.
But this overseas trip is no big feat compared to what these fans say the Saints do for the city.
The Saints mean a lot to this city. So if it wasn't for the Saints, the city would still be down after Katrina.
And the crowd base they have here is just unbelievable.
Our fans are the best.
Amen on that. Layla Marcos reporting. Now, let's talk about London challenges. You settled on 2 issues that you think are big for this football team as they go overseas. And number 1 is?
Number 1 for me is the rest. I think going on Monday is just paramount for them. To get in there, to get them acclimated to the community, acclimated to the air, get themselves in their hotels, settle down, and rest.
6 days early is a very good thing, right?
Excellent. That's the way to do it.
Number 2 is kind of interesting. You say number 2 is the food.
The food, the nutrition. Believe it or not, what happens to players is that their system gets used to function in a certain way, and they eat certain types of food. They got superstition, it's high carb diets, and the adjustment to the food, in my opinion, can be very important because you don't want that system to be unnerved going into the ball game. It's going to be a big ball game, should have a lot of emphasis on the impact of the season, and I think their nutrition is going to be a vital part of what they do there.
All right, we'll be back with more in a minute.
A walk with friends or spending time with your neighbors may deter crime in your neighborhood. Get valuable information to prevent crime at the National Night Out Against Crime Kickoff Party, Sunday, August 3rd. ABC 26 crime tracker Michael Hill will be there to cover the activities, music, great food, and more. Meet local law enforcement plus tattoo. ABC 26's Bounty Hunter in person. Come to the National Night Out Against Crime Kickoff Party, Sunday, August 3rd at the Treasure Chest Casino in Kenner.
Own the ultimate timepiece, a Rolex from Adler's. Choose from the extensive Rolex collection at Adler's, New Orleans owned since 1898. Adler's, Canal, Lakeside, and the French Quarter.
National Furniture Outlet.
We're
refurnishing the New Orleans Metro. Come see our wide selection of furniture and appliances at everyday low prices guaranteed. We stock one of the largest selections of Ashley, Baseline, and Standard furniture brands. Buy today, enjoy immediately. Free delivery in the metro area.
Hi, I'm Lance Moore. You can't catch a game at the Dome? Come to National Furniture Outlet for great deals on these Baseline products and all your furniture needs.
Scooters fries up the best chicken in town. Try our extreme flavor or original flavor. Nobody fries chicken like Scooters. Nobody. Kids go crazy with Scooters chicken strips, original honey butter biscuits, fresh homemade onion rings, double cheesy mac and cheese. Feed the whole family for a great price with our mega meal. Scooters Chicken is the right place. Scooters Chicken is on time.
Scooters Chicken is the best.
Meet the Johnsons. To save money this summer, they're vacationing a little closer to home. Their own backyard. With Charter, there's an easier way to save. Introducing the Save a Bundle bundle. Charter high-speed internet and Charter telephone in-state calling for an incredibly low $49.99 a month. Less than most pay for phone alone. Do the math. Save easy. Call 1-877-SAVE-169 or visit charter.com/saveabundle and switch today. Charter brings your home to life.
Ribs can take a long, long time to do right. Shoney's makes it easy with our new Rockin' Ribs combos. Get a juicy fall-off-the-bone pile of our own barbecue ribs cooked slow to tender and pair them with our fresh grilled chicken or steakhouse sirloin or 6 golden brown fried shrimp. And if you're really into ribs, well, then get more ribs. We also have a ribs basket and great barbecue chicken sandwich, too. Come in now to try our fresh new Rockin' Ribs combos at Shoney's.
Oh, that's good.
Now, come in for our all-you-care-to-eat breakfast or lunch buffet for just $5.99, Monday through Friday.
Saints could be running back by committee. Deuce, Reggie, and second-year runner Pierre Thomas are in the mix. Can Thomas, a free agent, earn more carries than a pair of former #1 draft picks? We ask our Damon Darensburg. Good evening, Big D.
What's up, Ed? Now, the Saints passing game is expected again to be one of the best in the NFL this year, but what about the ground attack? Deuce is recovering, and Reggie has never been an every down back. But don't worry, Saints fans, there's a guy who says he's ready to shoulder the load.
The question mark surrounding Deuce McAllister's health for the 2008 season could turn into an exclamation point if Pierre Thomas picks up where he left off last year. In the Bears game, Thomas carried the ball 20 times for 105 yards and offered a glimpse of what he can do if given an opportunity. But what does Thomas think of his chances of being an every down back?
I hope so, you know. I can't say now, you know, I showed a lot of people, you know, against that Chicago game, you know, what I could do. And, you know, a lot of people said, hey, you know, he had a great game. And I said, hey, I'm trying to get more of them during this season. But, you know, I gotta take one step at a time.
The skepticism in Pierre's ability to carry the load was triggered mainly because of his size. Last year, Thomas was listed at 5'11", 205 pounds. Consider this. Last season, 4 running backs in the NFL averaged at least 20 carries a game, and those 4 weighed an average of 218 pounds. That gave the undrafted back from Illinois more motivation for the offseason.
During the offseason, you know, I tried to work on getting my weight up. You know, I really wanted to get a little heavier because, you know, last year I was getting knocked around. I played around 200, 205. Now I'm up to about 215, 220. I'm bouncing around there. You know, I feel great with it. But most of the offseason, I've been studying. You know, I've been learning the plays.
Most teams in the NFL run some type of running back by committee. And with Thomas, Reggie Bush, Aaron Stecker, and even a semi-healthy Deuce McAllister, the Saints have the bodies to get it done on the ground. But number 23 says he wants to make sure when his number is called, the team knows they can count on him.
You know, I want to prove to everybody that I could be out here, I could play with these guys, and I could play at this level. So I want to show that to everybody, and whatever it takes, what I have to do out there on the field, you know, I'm going to do it.
And I think he can get it done. The Saints coaching staff say they're confident that Thomas can carry the load at running back if that's what's needed. Guys?
All right, Big D, we'll be back for a Damon Darensburg vote here in just a minute. But first, looking at Pierre Thomas, a guy, a street free agent. This is why coaches are on the phone after the draft trying to get guys like this one.
Well, no question, he's fine. Now, his problem is he's got to prove he can play. There are some guys in this league who got to prove that they can. He's one that's got to prove that he can. The Chicago game went a long way to put him in that position. I don't know if he could carry it every game for 20 times, but I think he's a very good back, and when you mix him in with the other two guys, could give the Saints a real good running game.
Time now to vote. Who will be the Saints' leading rusher in 2008? For that, let's go back to Damon, who will start us off.
I'm going to go back. My Saints' leading rusher will be Pierre Thomas. And believe me, I'm not picking Deuce McAllister, not because I didn't think he couldn't do it, but more like he shouldn't do it. With the extra weight, Thomas is better suited than any of the other backs to take the pounding needed to carry the ball 15 to 18 times a game. And remember, in the Bears game, Thomas became the first Saints player to gain over 100 yards both rushing and receiving in the same game. JT, who do you have?
Deuce. It's got to be Deuce. Deuce has got to carry the load. If he can do that and mix in Pierre and mix in Reggie, I think they got a chance to be a really good offense. But Deuce is the guy that's got to bring the bacon home.
And he did it, of course, in 2006 when he had a spectacular year. I'm going to say Deuce McAllister as well. The Saints' all-time leading rusher had a setback early in camp, but to me, he's the guy between the tackles that makes the rest of the offense work. I think either Deuce McAllister will be healthy, or I think there's a real good chance the Saints will put the all-time leading rusher and a great player on injured reserve. We'll be back in a minute.
Up next, hope springs eternal for the biggest Saints fan in the free world.
More than any other year, this has to be the year.
And a year after a setback, can the Saints bounce back and again surprise the competition in the NFC? Our panel picks a winner in the National Football Conference.
You're watching the Dodge Training Camp Kickoff.
Welcome back to 1973. He's the same Cub, but he may as well be on another planet. ABC's Life on Mars. Series premiere Thursday, October 9th at 10/9 Central on ABC.
Get to the Southern Truck Stop clearance at your Dodge dealer. A great time to get the best deals we've offered all year. And now, just announced, 0% APR financing for 72 months on Dodge Ram 1500 Quad Cab, plus $1,000 bonus cash for a total savings of up to $10,000. All backed by Dodge's lifetime powertrain warranty with no mileage limits or deductibles. Get 0% APR financing for 72 months at your Southern Dodge dealer today.
We go nonstop too. Fly Southwest Airlines' new nonstop service from New Orleans to Denver starting August 4th. Fly nonstop for just $89 one way, with no tricky fees for stuff that should be free.
You are now free to move about the country.
My name is Danielle Martinez, and I attend Tulane University School of Continuing Studies. A typical day for me would be possibly attending council meeting, assisting residents, and then off to the Elmwood campus to work on my degree. They really make it convenient to the part-time student. They have classes uptown, Elmwood, and even online. And in the end, I'll have a Tulane degree, and that's a powerful thing.
Registration is going on now, so call us for more information at Tulane University School of Continuing Studies.
Come in to Gulf Outlet for the summer blowout sale. For a limited time only, get this Frigidaire 4-piece package including dishwasher, vented microwave, electric range, and a side-by-side refrigerator for only $16.89. Or get this 50-inch HD flat panel TV for only $9.89. Golf Outlet also carries an extensive line of living, dining, and bedroom furniture, plus all Electrolux and Fisher-Paykel appliances. Come see Golf Outlet showroom today at 209 East Judge Perez in Chalmette.
Being prepared for any tropical system in the Gulf is vital.
Get all the information you need to be ready in one brochure.
Pick up your ABC 26 2008 Storm Guide, sponsored by your local Dodge, Chrysler, and Jeep dealerships. Watch ABC 26 and track the storm's location.
Use the contraflow map to get out of harm's way.
There's a survival checklist with emergency phone numbers, websites, plus more to keep you safe.
So be prepared this hurricane season.
Get your ABC 26 2008 Storm Guide.
Find it at your participating local Radio Shack locations or Dodge, Chrysler, and Jeep dealerships.
In Game 13, the Saints started a late playoff push. New Orleans won at Atlanta 34-14. Drew Brees threw a pair of touchdown passes to Marcus Colston. Next up, the Arizona Cardinals. The Saints had 423 total yards of offense. A Scott Fujita sack and Scott Shanley fumble recovery set up an Aaron Stecker touchdown run to give the Saints a 2-score lead. New Orleans holds on for a 31-24 win. Against Philadelphia, the Saints' leaky secondary was exposed again. Donovan McNabb was 24 of 35, including 3 touchdown passes. Eagles 38, Saints 23. The Saints went to Chicago still in the playoff picture, but despite 226 yards from scrimmage from running back Pierre Thomas, the Saints fell to the Bears 33-25. Devin Hester torched New Orleans with a 64-yard punt return and 55-yard TD reception from quarterback Kyle Orton. Saints finished the year with 7 wins and 9 losses.
You're watching the Dodge Training Camp Kickoff.
In 2007, the Saints organization learned about what can be the maddening inconsistencies of the NFL. The difference between 7-9 and 10-6 can be minuscule. Have the Saints closed that gap? And what are their areas of concern as we prepare to kick off the preseason? Every team in the NFL has issues, but on offense, the Saints have few. The health of Deuce McAllister is one. Who will be the second and third receivers behind star Marcus Colston is another. Most of the Saints' issues are on defense and in the kicking game. 16-year veteran quarterback Mark Brunell says he likes what he sees.
There's no reason why we should not be very good offensively. But I've always thought that the best thing that a quarterback can have is a good defense. I think we have that too.
The Saints made 2 big offseason moves for the middle of the defense. Defensive tackle Cedric Ellis was the club's first-round pick. The Saints traded a draft choice to the Jets for linebacker Jonathan Vilma. In the second round, the Saints drafted cornerback Tracy Porter, currently out with a hamstring pull, and brought in former LSU Tiger and Patriots cornerback Randall Gay in free agency. The Saints allowed 32 touchdown passes in 07, tied with the Detroit Lions for worst in the league. Right cornerback Jason David drew the ire of Saints fans for his play, but defensive coordinator Gary Gibbs says the Saints aren't ready to give up on David. Do you still have confidence in Jason David?
Absolutely. You know, those guys out there on the outside, they're going to get shot at, but he's a guy that can play.
Even though Martin Gramatica made all 5 of his attempts as a Saint, the team was last in the NFL in field goal percentage. For only the 4th time in Saints history, the club drafted a place kicker. Taylor Melhalf of Wisconsin has a strong leg and has excellent hang time on kickoffs. The Saints could keep both kickers. Gramatica for field goals, Melhalf for kickoffs. The job will be won in the preseason.
Going to have to let it play it out. I'm not trying to escape the question, but that's the way it'll be. They'll control their own destiny.
Former LSU Tiger and Higgins Hurricane Skylar Green is battling for a job as a punt and kickoff returner. How quickly can the Saints return to the playoffs? Quickly, if the defense can catch up with the offense.
You know, they work together, and if you have both, you got a chance to be very special.
Last year, the Saints secondary had only 13 interceptions. The Saints defense as a whole, only the 49ers, Texans, Steelers, and Eagles had fewer. So you look at that defensive secondary, how does it shake out? Is Randall Gay a starting cornerback? Is Tracy Porter a second-round draft pick? Do you want to put him in that role as a rookie? And what about Jason David?
Well, let me say to you, I think it starts up front. They went to try to help themselves in the draft, obviously trying to get Ellis. Talking to Joe, he says he can do it, that he is an aggressive, physical kid who can rush the passer. I don't know if Randall Gay's the answer. He's more of a zone guy than he is a man guy. But Randall has the experience. Randall has the ability to play in big games. He's been there and done that. I think the big thing for them is the ability to get pass rush, get pressure on the quarterback, and cut that time down that they have to cover those good receivers.
So in other words, as Ron Jaworski said, the giant plan, right?
No question. Pressure up front is the key.
All right, let's see if they get it. In the meantime, the Saints Nation, a fervent one. But there is no bigger Saints fan on the planet than ABC 26's Glenn Boyd. Last year, G-Money said, black and gold Super Bowl. This year, we check in with Glenn for the pulse of he and the Saints Nation.
Angela Bell put this Saints Spirit song on wax, believe it or not, 20 years ago.
People call me and they're like, your song is on the radio. And I'm like, when I hear it, you know, I get excited. Oh, I believe. Oh, I believe. I believe.
Angela's brother wrote the song and appropriately titled it, I Believe. And 20 years later, the faithful still believe in their black and gold.
Forget about last year. Diehards always believe. Moving forward with the addition of Shockey, some of the experts are saying this offense has the potential of being one of the most prolific in the league. So more than any other year, this has to be the year. You got to believe.
With Sherm Shockey, I mean, if they use him right and he stays healthy, it should be a good year.
Do you believe?
Oh, I definitely believe. This year, I don't know, they made some really nice moves.
There's one minor change in this repeating show. The Saints are going to the playoffs. That you ought to know. Oh, I believe.
Do you believe?
I do believe.
The first preseason game hasn't been played and Saints fever is running high. Lionel Scott says, just like the song says, we've been down too long.
This our year here. It's been too many years. I think this our year here. We're going all the way, y'all.
Black Gold Super Bowl.
Get ready. That's right. You better believe it.
Saints go all the way. Saints all the way. Saints go all the way.
The Saints are going all the way to Europe this year for a regular season game. The Brown family here is from Ireland. Check out what little Carl is wearing.
Do you believe in the Saints?
Yes.
You know Drew Brees?
Yeah.
You like him as a quarterback?
Yeah.
So you believe, right?
Yeah.
You believe the Saints will go to the Super Bowl this year?
Yes.
When sales of Lucky Dogs slow down, Bruce Bryant picks up the local paper for the Saints camp news. Bryant believes this will be a special year.
They're going to fare pretty well this year, but it'll be better than a 7-9 record than last year.
I believe. Go Saints!
So the question now is, Eddie D, do you believe anything short of the playoffs, steak dinner, well, on me?
Well, since he owes me a bunch of them, we just keep waiting.
Did he say 2 steak dinners or 1 steak dinner? Yeah, I want some of that too, Boyd.
He's certainly got the means to do it.
Yeah, no question.
This guy is crazy about the Saints.
No question. You can't help but love his enthusiasm, and I hope he's right. I really do. I think they got a shot. If they can stay healthy, they got a shot.
All right. In a few minutes, Glenn will pick his winner in the NFC. Is there any doubt?
Up next, not pick 6, but pick 7. Our panel picks an NFC winner. Is it Cowboys or Indians? Giants or Saints? Or Birds? Seahawks or Eagles? Next.
You're watching the Dodge Training Camp Kickoff.
The Chrysler, Dodge, and Jeep $299 Gas Guarantee Plus ends tomorrow.
We can go anywhere in our Jeep Patriot.
We can take that weekend getaway in our Dodge Journey.
We're going on our summer vacation in our Chrysler Town & Country.
And we won't pay more than $2.99 a gallon for gas.
Hurry, because now when you buy or lease most Chrysler, Dodge, or Jeep vehicles, you'll pay just $2.99 a gallon for gas or diesel in each of the next 3 years for up to the first 12,000 miles per year. Or choose 0% financing for 72 months on select models. But you've got to act now because the $2.99 gas guarantee ends tomorrow.
I'm attorney Greg DeLeo. An 18-wheeler can cause deadly personal injuries, not just because of the destructive weight of these rigs, but also because of the inability of these huge vehicles to stop quickly or maneuver like a car. So when a collision occurs between a car and an 18-wheeler, the damages to people in the car can involve wrongful death or serious personal injuries. It's important to make sure that your lawyer has handled 18-wheeler cases before handling yours. These cases are not like short-term injury cases. In a serious 18-wheeler case, it's important to know when and how to hire experts in accident reconstruction, physics, vocational rehabilitation, or economics. Only an attorney experienced in such cases will know how to locate, pay for, and employ such experts. Without them, even a big case can lose its value. I'm attorney Greg DeLeo, and this has been your Legal Minute. For more information, you can email me, visit my website, or call me at 522-3456.
An alligator attacks an 11-year-old boy, tearing off his arm. The terrifying details and how the child is faring from the attack. Parish workers accused of stealing gasoline. Just how much they racked up with your tax dollars. An elderly man says he was badly beaten in a bank drive-thru of all places. Why the cops and the bank won't do anything about it. And the wheel of justice is really on a roll. 19 suspects now behind bars. Our newest target and Tattoo the Bounty Hunter at 10.
Scooters fries up the best chicken in town. Try our extreme flavor or original flavor. Nobody fries chicken like Scooters. Nobody. Kids go crazy with Scooters chicken strips, original honey butter biscuits, fresh homemade onion rings, double cheesy mac and cheese. Feed the whole family for a great price with our mega meal. Scooters Chicken is the right place. Scooters Chicken is on time.
Scooters Chicken is the best.
Shell New Orleans Federal Credit Union is opening their doors to you so you can experience all the benefits of a new kind of local banking. Open the door to lower interest rates on a new home. Open the door to new and used car loans. Open the door to a better future with tuition loans. Now, all the financial benefits Shell employees have enjoyed for 60 years are available to your family. Come try a new kind of local banking at Shell New Orleans Federal Credit Union. Our doors are open.
Now it's time to pick our champion in the NFC. And here's what our panel of ABC 26 experts says tonight. Layla says the Saints. So does Glenn Boyd. Wouldn't surprise you there. Damon and Adam pick the Cowboys. Robert picks the Saints. JT the Giants. And I have no idea who's going to win the NFC, so I'm going to go with a team with an easy schedule and great at home, the Seattle Seahawks. It really is a jump ball.
It's a jump ball. We left Philadelphia out. I mean, if their quarterback plays like he played at the end of the season, they're going to be a contender. Hard for me to pick against a Super Bowl winner, and I think Eli is coming into his own. I really do.
All right, let's tell you about some more ABC 26 sports programming. Our annual preseason LSU football special is back. The Dodge Road to a Championship premieres August 27th at 8 p.m. on ABC 26. And on September 5th, JT and I return for our 17th season of Friday Night Football, that is, presented by the Allstate Sugar Bowl, 11:05 ABC 26. Thank you, my friend. It's great to have you with us.
Enjoyed it. Looking forward to the LSU special and then Friday Night Football.
Let's do it again real soon. And thank you for watching. Have a great night. And remember to watch all of our training camp reports on ABC 26 live from Millsaps College in Jackson each and every night. Thanks again, my friend. Have a great night.